The descent module broke through Eden 9's atmosphere like a meteor, trailing blue fire against the perfect azure sky. Dr. Maya Ortiz pressed her palm against the viewport, watching as paradise materialized below them. Endless emerald forests stretched to turquoise oceans, dotted with gleaming lakes that reflected the planet's twin suns. "It's beautiful," she whispered, "exactly like the brochures." Commander Darius Wells, seated beside her, checked the descent telemetry. "The Galactic Coalition doesn't classify a Tier 1 paradise lightly, Doctor, first one discovered in 50 years. "And humans get to be part of the settlement initiative," Maya said, tucking a strand of dark hair behind her ear. "Lucky us." The module touched down in a meadow of knee-high purple grasses that swayed in a gentle breeze. When the hatch opened, the air that rushed in carried scents of nectar and spice, intoxicating and rich. The 50 colonists disembarked onto soil that felt springy beneath their boots. Ambassador Thrix, their Veldaran liaison, waited for them beneath a pavilion of shimmering material. The 8-foot-tall being's translucent skin glowed with bioluminescent patterns that shifted with their emotions, currently pulsing with welcoming blues and greens. "Humans of Earth," Thrix's voice resonated through a translator. "Eden 9 welcomes you to absolute harmony. The Coalition is pleased to include your species in this grand experiment." Maya approached the alien diplomat, extending her hand in the human gesture she knew Thrix had studied. "The honor is ours, Ambassador. We're eager to establish the research outpost." "Your dwellings are prepared." Thrix gestured toward elegant structures that seemed to grow from the landscape rather than impose upon it. "Designed for optimal comfort across species." The next 3 days passed in a flurry of activity. Maya established her xenobiology lab while Darius organized security protocols, minimal as they seemed in a world without predators. The Coalition representatives assured them there was nothing on Eden 9 that could harm them. No toxic plants, no dangerous animals, no extreme weather patterns. On the 4th night, Maya found Darius sitting alone outside the settlement, watching one of Eden's moons rise over the forest canopy. "Trouble sleeping?" she asked, sitting beside him on a stone that seemed perfectly shaped for resting. "Something feels off," he admitted. "Paradise shouldn't be this easy." Maya laughed, the skeptical soldier even in utopia. "It's too perfect," he insisted. "Nothing in nature is this balanced without cost." In the morning, colonist Tomas Reeve reported to medical with dizziness and mild nausea. By evening, 5 more colonists showed similar symptoms. Maya ran diagnostics, finding nothing conclusive. "Adaptation sickness," she told the worried faces in the medical bay. "Our bodies adjusting to the new environment. It'll pass." A week later, Tomas collapsed during breakfast, blood trickling from his nose and ears. 3 others showed the same symptoms by nightfall. Maya worked through the night, analyzing blood samples under her microscope. At dawn, she called Darius to her lab. "Look," she said, pointing to the view screen. Tiny organisms, nearly invisible, swarmed in the sample. "They're in our water supply, some kind of parasite, but they're unlike anything I've ever seen." "Are they killing us?" Darius asked bluntly. "Slowly degrading neural pathways," Maya confirmed. "But here's the strange part. When I test them against the ambassador's biological profile, they're completely inert. They only activate in human tissue." Darius's jaw tightened. "So paradise has teeth after all." "Only for us," Maya said. "To the Veldarans and others, this really is paradise." That evening, Ambassador Thrix responded to their emergency communication with genuine confusion. "Impossible. Eden 9 has been tested extensively. It is the safest world in the quadrant." "Safe for you," Darius said, his voice hard. "Not for humans." As the ambassador departed, promising to consult with Coalition scientists, Maya watched the seemingly peaceful landscape with new eyes. The gentle breeze, the perfect temperature, the sweet-smelling air, all of it suddenly sinister. "What do we do now?" one of the colonists asked, fear evident in their voice. Maya and Darius exchanged a look of determination. "We adapt," Maya said firmly. "That's what humans do best." 2 weeks after their arrival on Eden 9, the human settlement was in crisis. The medical bay, once pristine and mostly empty, now housed 15 colonists in various stages of neurological decline. Tomas Reeve had died in the night, the first human casualty of paradise. Maya worked tirelessly, her lab coat stained with spilled coffee and chemical reagents. The water parasites were only the beginning. Blood samples revealed three distinct microscopic threats: the neural parasites, an airborne bacteria that colonized human lungs, and a protein in the native fruits that gradually accumulated in human liver tissue. "It's like this entire ecosystem is designed to break us down," she explained to Darius as they stood over a digital map of the settlement. Slowly, almost politely, but inevitably. Darius ran a hand through his short hair, now streaked with premature gray. "The coalition representatives are arriving tomorrow. They're bringing specialists." "They won't understand," Maya said, frustration evident in her voice. "This planet isn't hostile by their standards. It's literally perfect for them." That evening, 3 more colonists died. By morning, the coalition delegation arrived, led by Ambassador Thrix and a new face, an alien scientist named Alara from a species called the Meridae. Unlike the towering Thrix, Alara stood barely 5 feet tall, with iridescent scales and eyes that reflected light like prisms. "I specialize in comparative xenobiology," Alara explained, her translator giving her voice a melodic quality. "I've studied humans extensively. This situation is unprecedented." Darius escorted Alara through the settlement while Maya continued her research. As they walked past hydroponics gardens hastily erected to grow earth plants, Darius noticed how the alien scientist observed everything with analytical precision. "Your species fascinates me," Alara admitted as they paused by a stream that had been sectioned off with warning markers. "Most spacefaring races evolved on worlds much like Eden 9, balanced, nurturing, but humans. We come from a world that tried to kill us at every turn," Darius finished. "Predators, diseases, natural disasters." "Yes," Alara's eyes shimmered. "A Deathworld species by our classification, yet you survived, thrived even." That night, after the coalition delegates retreated to their ship, Darius found Maya collapsed over her workstation. He carried her to her quarters, alarmed by the dark circles under her eyes and the slight tremor in her hands. "You're infected too," he realized. "Early stages," she confirmed weakly. "But I've made progress. The parasites have a vulnerability. They can't survive in high saline environments." Another week passed, 5 more deaths. The coalition officially classified Eden 9 as unexpectedly hostile to human physiology, but maintained its Tier 1 paradise rating for other species. They offered evacuation. "We're not leaving," Maya declared during a community meeting, standing despite her weakening condition. "This is still our chance to be part of something incredible. We just need to adapt faster than this world can kill us." The vote was unanimous. They would stay and fight. In the privacy of her lab, Maya shared her true concerns with Darius and Alara, who had chosen to remain and help. "The parasites are evolving, becoming resistant to our treatments. It's like the planet itself is learning to kill us more efficiently." Darius took her hand, his grip firm and warm. "Then we'll just have to learn faster." Alara watched their interaction with fascination. "Perhaps," she suggested, "the solution lies not in fighting Eden 9, but in teaching it to accept you." As night fell, Darius stood at the edge of the settlement, watching strange bioluminescent creatures drift through the forest like earthbound stars. Beautiful and deadly. Paradise and hell existing in the same space. Behind him, Maya worked through the night on a new treatment protocol, while the death toll continued to rise. 1 month into the Eden 9 settlement, 23 humans had died. The survivors existed in a careful balance of treatments, protocols, and restricted zones. Water was triple filtered, air was scrubbed, and all food was grown in sealed hydroponics bays with earth soil. They lived like visitors on a toxic planet, despite the lush beauty that surrounded them. Maya, now recovering from her infection thanks to an experimental treatment she developed, stood before the assembled colonists in the community center. Her body was thin, but her eyes burned with determination. "Today we begin phase 1 of the adaptation protocol," she announced. "We can't just hide from Eden 9, we need to become compatible with it." The protocol began with modified gene therapy, using retroviral vectors to alter specific human genes to better process the alien proteins. Darius volunteered to be the first test subject, along with a team of 5 others. "The injections will temporarily rewrite portions of your immune response," Maya explained as she prepared the first dose. "It will be uncomfortable." Uncomfortable beats dead, Darius replied with a grim smile. Alara monitored the process with her alien instruments, providing insights from her species' advanced biological science. Remarkable, she murmured as she observed the changes in Darius's blood work. Your genetic structure allows for modifications that would kill most species. While the test group underwent treatment, the other colonists fortified the settlement. They constructed filtration systems, planted hybrid crops, and established new safety protocols. They weren't just surviving anymore, they were building. 2 weeks into the adaptation protocol, Darius led an expedition into the deeper forest to collect samples from an area rich with the neural parasites. Maya needed them to test her next-generation treatment. Be careful, she told him before he left, her hand lingering on his arm. The symptoms progress faster with each exposure. The expedition returned with the samples, but also with casualties. 2 team members affected by a new threat, a pollen that caused rapid neurological shutdown. As Maya worked to save them, Darius and Alara analyzed the pollen's structure. It's almost like the planet is defending itself, Alara observed, producing new compounds specifically targeted at human biology. That night, as a storm raged outside, beautiful, non-destructive rain that nonetheless carried microscopic threats, Darius found Maya in her lab, frustrated by another failed treatment attempt. We're losing this fight, she admitted, tears in her eyes. Darius pulled her close, their foreheads touching. We're humans, Maya, losing isn't what we do. Their lips met in a desperate, passionate kiss, months of tension and shared struggle culminating in a moment of connection. As they separated, Maya's eyes widened with sudden realization. That's it, she whispered. We don't fight the planet, we join with it. The next phase of the adaptation protocol was radical. Instead of filtering out Eden-9's organisms, they would selectively introduce them, creating a controlled symbiosis. Using Alara's knowledge of how other species naturally resisted the parasites, they developed a symbiotic bacterium that could live harmlessly in human gut flora while producing compounds toxic to the neural parasites. It's risky, Maya told the colonists, but it's our best chance at true adaptation. The coalition, alarmed by their approach, threatened to forcibly evacuate the settlement. Ambassador Thrix returned, concerned by what he saw as a reckless experiment. This is unprecedented, Thrix told them. No species has ever needed to change themselves to inhabit a Tier 1 paradise. Maybe that's exactly why we need to be here, Darius replied, to show you another way of existing in the universe. As the symbiotic treatments began showing promising results, Alara worked closely with Maya, their different perspectives creating innovations neither could have developed alone. And in the quiet moments between crises, Darius and Maya's relationship deepened, finding strength in each other that sustained them through the darkest days. Eden-9 continued to evolve new threats, but for the first time, the humans were evolving faster. Into the Eden-9 settlement, the Coalition Parliament voted to classify the planet as human Powell and ordered mandatory evacuation within 30 days. The news reached the settlement during their first celebration, day without a medical emergency, a small victory paid for with 31. Force us to leave, Maya argued during an emergency council meeting. We're making. And they will, Darius countered, unless we can prove conclusively that we've. Now, practically a member of the settlement offered a panel salute. The Coalition annual conference is in 3 weeks on the Veldran homeworld. If you could present your results there, demonstrate your. Crystallized quickly. Ma would continue eyeing the symbiotic treatments while Darius led teams to gather data from across Eden-9's various spots. They needed comprehensive proof that humans could not just survive, but thrive on them. It was dangerous. 2 more colonists died during expeditions in previously unexplored regions of the planet. But each sacrifice yielded critical data patterns in the ecosystems around us, weakness in the plant's defense against human. Who came unsuspectedly. While examining the neural patterns of colonists who had survived the parasitic infection, she discovered something remarkable. Their brains had formed new neural pathways, creating resistance not by fighting the parasites, but by. Beautiful, she explained to Darius and Alara, showing them the brain scans. The parasites become part of our nervous system, but under our control. Protocol was run, carefully controlled exposure to the parasites, coupled with meta-hidden that guide their integration rather than destroying them. The results were dramatic, enhanced nervous system function, improved sensory perception, and complete immunity to further. Eden deadline approached, a new crisis emerged. The Coalition sent an advanced team to prepare for the forced removal, and they brought with them a species completely unknown to Eden, which triggered an unprecedented immune response from the planet itself. As pollen filled the air, water sources became more heavily saturated with parasites, and even the weather patterns shifted to produce powerful light. That is defending itself against the perceived invasion, Alara realized, just as it did with humans. Saw the opportunity within the crisis. So Eden-9 treats all new species as threats until they prove up. Maya said, excitement building and nervous. We're not the problem, we're the solution. We can be the interface between Eden-9 and the rest of the. Before the Coalition representatives were scheduled to begin evacuations, Maya and Darius made their final preparations. The evidence was compelling: brain scans, blood work, field test results, but would it? His quarters as they finalized their presentation, Darius took her hand. Whatever happens tomorrow, what we've done here, he said. Smile agreed, leaning into his embrace. For humanity, for the God. This was different now, no longer desperate, but firming, a celebration of what they built together in the faith of him. Brought the Coalition delegation, led by Ambassador Thrix and a panel of scientists from various. They toured the settlement, reviewed the data, and observed the adapted humans interacting safely with Eden. One scientist muttered, watching a colonist drink unfiltered water with it. Palatable Mike corrected, just unrested. Demonstrating was the most dramatic. Darius led the delegate into a region previously lethal to humans, where the air itself had once caused neurological shock. Now the adapted colonists moved freely, their new symbiotic system processing that. Set over Eden 9's perfect horizon, the coalition delegate returned to their ship to deliberate. The humans gathered in the community center, awaiting their verdict. So after humans first set foot on Eden 9, the settlement had transformed beyond reckoning. On were the sealed habitats and filtration systems, replaced by open-air dwellings that integrated seamlessly with the surrounding ecosystem. Humans moved free through the landscape, their bodies now hosting carefully cultivated community of Eden. On a hill overlooking the expanded settlement, now officially recognized as New Harmony by the Galactic Coalition. Below, human children, the firstborn on Eden 9, played alongside visiting alien youngsters, their laughter carrying on this. But I thought, Darius said, joining her on the overlook, that a Deathworld species would be the key to truly unlocking a paradise. The decision had been unprecedented. Not only had they allowed the humans to stay, but they had redesignated Eden 9 as the galaxy's first paradise, a new classification for worlds that responded dynamically to difference. Thrix is arriving today with the new diplomatic delegate. Ma ryan at him, leaning comfortably against his shoulder. The neural symbiotes they both carried enhanced their connection, allowing them to sense each other's emotions in a way no mod-eyed humans could. It had become a center for interspecies research and cooperation. Laura now permanently resided there, heading a scientific exchange program that brought researchers from across the galaxy. The symbiotic adaptations pioneered on Eden 9 were being studied for application on other worlds previously thought on. Looking at the human approaching coalition space, Darius said with a chuckle, adapting to hostile environments instead of terraforming them in. Sent to greet the approaching diplomatic shuttle, they passed through groves of hybrid plants, Earth species that had been modified to thrive in Eden 9 soul, producing fruits that both humans and native creatures could safely. The boundaries between Earth and Eden were blurring with it. Thrix emerged from the shuttle, accompanied by representatives from 12 species, many visiting Eden 9 for the first time. The ambassadors skin pulsed with patterns of His commander was, Thrix greeted them formally. The coalition parliament has approved your proposal. New Harmony will become the first multi-species adaptive settlement in Galactic. It was met with cheers from the gathered colonists. What had begun as a desperate fight for survival had evolved into a new model for interspecies coexistence, one that embraced difference rather than. As the twin suns set in a spectacular display of color, the settlement held to celebrate. Humans danced alongside aliens, their movements expressing a joy that transcended biological difference. I and Darius, now formally partnered both professionally and personally, watched from the edge of the. It's the latest neural scan today, Ma said quietly. The symbiosis is becoming more sophisticated with each passing week. We're evolving Darius faster than humans ever. What? He asked, not fearful but curious. No, sure what? Something between human and Eden. The children born here show even more advanced integration. In a few generations, they may develop abilities we can. Things were profound. Humanity branching into a new evolutionary path, guided not by random mutation, but by deliberate adaptation to an alien world. Not conquering Eden 9, but night as Maya and Darius stood alone beneath Eden's stunning stars, a small creature approached them, one of the bioluminescent beings that had once been deadly to human. I climbed fiercely onto Maya's outstretched hand, its light pooling in harmony with her own. Legend was right all along, Darius mused, widening the interaction. This, Ma corrected gently, it's better than paradise itself. Highest point in New Harmony, they could see the settlement bleeding seamlessly into the walled landscape beyond, not an intrusion upon Eden 9's protection, but an evolution of it. Humans had not conquered this world, nor had they been conquered by it. Said they had found a third path, coming something greater together than it. Ports came in from across the galaxy of other paradise worlds showing similar hostile reactions to human visitors. Eden 9 stood as a beacon of possibility, proof that even the most fundamental incompatibilities could be overcome with courage, sense, and the uniquely human willingness to change rather than demand the universe. The story of Eden 9 would be taught in schools across the galaxy, how paradise became a Deathworld, and how humans transformed it once again, not back into a paradise, but into something far more valuable, a world of endless adaptation and growth, where difference was strength and change was not feared. It turned out was not a play at all, but a process constantly evolving, just like the humans who had found their true home among us.